Hello students, so today we are back with our history lesson chapter 5, Age of Industrialization. In our previous class we have covered the introduction. The major topic was what was proto-industrialization, a very important topic. We have also covered the topic of expansion of world trade, then the importance of proto-industrialization as a system of commercial exchange, and which was also covered hand labor and steam power, which was an important topic. And then we will be starting with today's main topic is industrialization in the colonies. So I hope the last slides that we have covered was gone through by you and you have understood it. Regarding any problem in understanding, you can easily contact me. So let's start with today's topic, industrialization in the colonies. So coming to industrialization in colonies, we can say that India was ruled by the Britishers, and at that time India was exploited like anything. And the British colonies, they had a good market in India, and the factory industries and the non-mechanized sectors in India developed though during this industrial colonial time. Now, age of Indian textile. We all know that the Britishers who came to our country, they had a good raw material from our country. They have taken good raw material of our country, and the main was silk and cotton. These were the two Indian dominated the products which dominated the international market before the age of machines. But what happened by 1950s? It was seen that during this time that railway stations began coming up all over London, and there was a lot of employment in that also before that. So what we happened, silk and cotton was the main product. So Armenian and Persian merchants took the finer qualities of cotton from Punjab to Afghanistan, Eastern Persia and Central Asia. Surat and Machilipatnam and Hooghly were the most important ports for the trade work. And by 1750s, with the arrival of the European companies, the Indians started losing their control over the trade. So this was a very common problem, and we can understand by this the situation of the weavers were not at all good. The Indian weavers were in great demand in Europe, and Indian East India Company was keen on expanding the textile exports from India. The French, Dutch, the Portuguese and the local traders competed in the market. Thus, the producer had a bargain power. So we can say that the officials of the East India Company faced problem for getting smooth supply of the raw materials. So after the company established its political power, it started to eliminate its competitors, and so the sole market was controlled by the Europeans, that is the British East India Company. Here we find that a very important position was held by the Gomastas. Who were these Gomastas? The Gomastas was an employee, you can say. So the East India Company started appointing Gomastas, that is, they were the paid servants to supervise weavers. And what did they do? They collected the supplies and examined the quality of the cloth. The new Gomastas, having no social links with the villages, acted arrogantly. So they were very rude to these local market people, the person from where they collected the material. They marched into the villages with sepoys and peons and often punished the weavers by beating with sticks. So they were very cruelly dealt with, and the Gomastas, as they were paid by the British companies, they tried to have a control over these poor people. Now coming to the next topic, that is the problems that was faced by the Indian weavers. So what are the major problems that the Indian weavers faced? That their export market collapsed, and the local market was flooded with Manchester goods, means the goods which were imported from Britain. These imported cotton goods were so cheap that Indian weavers could not easily compare with them. as the cotton exports of India from India increased due to the civil war in USA, weavers in India did not get sufficient cotton and they were forced to buy raw cotton at high prices. So in spite of having cotton or indigenous goods, but the weavers they had to buy this cotton, raw cotton at high prices. So after this, what happened? There was the next phase was that the factories coming up. Now, when we are seeing that the factories coming up, we can see that cotton and jute mills were the first to be established in India, as the raw material was found here in ample, means quite a large amount. The first cotton mill was set up in 1854 in Bombay, and the first jute mill was set up in 1855 in Bengal. So we can say that by 1874, the first spinning and weaving mill of Madras began production, and most of these industries were set up by Indian entrepreneurs. So maximum of them were the Indian entrepreneurs. The Indian people only, they were now starting up the factories. So let's see who were these early entrepreneurs. The early entrepreneurs, you can say that from the late 18th century, the British in India began exporting opium to China and took tea from China to England. Many Indian businessmen, they came junior players to this trade. So let's take some of the name of the famous industrialized some famous industrialized entrepreneurs who were industrialists of 19th century were Dwarkanath Tagore, Dinshaw Petit, Jamshedji Noronji Tata, Shiv Narayan Bilda, and Said Hukumchand, etc. So they were the early entrepreneurs. So students, let's go through this part only. We will be continuing with the next part in our next class. Thank you. Bye and take care.